Devin Carter entered the year as a potential breakout candidate and someone with a good chance of getting drafted, but he far exceeded all expectations, improving his game in nearly every way, becoming Big East Player of the Year, and now a potential lottery pick. He's a 6'3" combo guard with a great wingspan and athleticism. He's versatile defensively, and this season he made significant strides in his production as a shot creator and shooter that elicit more confidence in him offensively. Now, there are still a few questions on that end and his ability to pass, some in the shot, and just how much he's capable of continuing to improve, but he's got a well-rounded skill set and is one of the guys I'm most confident in making an early impact in the NBA, and that means something. Now with Carter, you've got to start on the defensive end. He's been a serious presence here, and with his athletic tools, his length, and statistical profile, this is where he will make his biggest impact in the NBA. He's physical and competitive at the point of attack. He's a good lateral mover with good anticipation. He puts on a cross-step exhibition in recovery and generally bothered some great creators throughout his college career, and it was especially impressive to see this year with the type of offensive burden that he had. In the pick and roll, I was consistently impressed by his technique and ability to navigate screens, closing gaps, and being physical with the screener. He did a good job of using his length and quick leaping ability to contest from behind, and he spent time on everyone from Tyler Kolek to Trey Alexander, Tristan Newton, Cam Jones, and others, and made all of them work in the process. Now, he still have some moments where he get taken out of plays, maybe didn't recover as much as I would have liked, but the highs were so high and mostly consistent that I buy him being that guy in a more focused role. In addition, his ability to defend up and hold his own on switches is another key piece of what he brings. I still think, of course, he'll be at a bit of a disadvantage to straight match up with wings in the league, but his core and lower body strength, his length and heart takes him a long way, and he plays much bigger than he measured in at.
He's playing back into a share of first place. 6 on the timer. Lewis backing in against Carter. Lewis in trouble. Knocked down Carter. No call. Some outstanding footwork. Evans trying to get past Carter. Carter says no way. 16-second difference between shot and game clock. They've scored 6 unanswered, these Pirates. 41-32. Alexander curling, floating. Position to rebound. They contest. Colin. Alexander. This is where he closes trouble. Sneaking down low, but the high finish, so no one can block the shot. Montgomery over Jaden House. Here's House, blocked by Carter. Oliveri, rainbow, no good. Evans turns the corner, floater short, and out of bounds. Some good looks though. Yeah, I mean, that one, he had another one in the opposite corner by their bench. He was hard from a teammate. We were both together in Miami. He's dedicated his time to improving and being
They've shown up with a purpose. Getting this guy back helps too, Carter Jr.
Now off the ball, that's where you get to see him wreak havoc even more. He's got solid positioning and help, a good feel for his responsibilities, and has great anticipation skills. He posted steal and block rates both near 3, played passing lanes, and created tons of transition opportunities in the process. He also came up with a few help side blocks and ridiculous contests on closeouts, and he was extremely impressive in ball denial situations, and I think he's going to have some success as a chaser. His athleticism popped here, and that play against UConn and Tristan Newton, really just that entire opening stretch is kind of burned into my brain. Now he of course got screened and taken out of plays a few times, but the effort was usually there and he took on the challenge consistently. His biggest statistical outlier though is his rebounding. He averaged nearly 9 a game with a defensive rebound percentage over 23, ranking in the 99th percentile of college basketball, and outproducing the likes of Donovan Clingan, Deron Holmes, and Kyle Filipowski to name a few. He's a multiple tool defender with what I believe to be all defense upside, and that alone puts him firmly in the conversations high in the draft.
5 minutes to play in the second half. A little Alexander checks the clock. Wheels inside. Coast. Plenty of time on the clock. Entries to the box and look who's out. Carlos Uzant gets into the lane with the left hand. Has back his way in. Drops. Marquette. To the basket, Lowry. Loose.
Biggest deficit for Milwaukee, 8 points. Piece of that one, and no, he couldn't save it.
Shireman. That would definitely be the play. And Carter got a piece. Shireman gets it.
Providence, because of senior night, you as an opposing team have to kind of match that.
Here comes Joe Tate.
Broadcaster jinx is real and alive because of Big Daddy B. That's why I brought it up. Not for the jinx, but not on the shooting arm.
Connecticut 28% shooting from the field to start. Spencer partially blows that.
Checks the clock. He'll offer up a three. Henry Reed. Carter blocking out.
Did good to step out on that there.
They haven't been getting him the basketball.
Now the level of jump that Carter made offensively is almost hard to overstate. He doubled his offensive BPM, he went up nearly 7 points a game on 8% better effective field goal percentage while doubling his 3-point attempts and increasing his assist numbers with the most usage and responsibility of his career, and that ultimately made him the prospect that he's now known as. Now with that being said, he's still an interesting player to describe and project offensively. I think he's going to be best suited for more of a complementary role, but he still showed a whole lot. He made a living in the paint using both his burst and body to convert in close. He had over 100 half-court rim attempts, finishing over 60% of them, and with most of them being self-created. He was great in the pick and roll as well, at 1 point per possession, and showed off a solid pace and usage of his body to get to the bucket, but he also introduced the pull-up ability from 3 that was prolific at over 40% on a tough die that looks off a ball screen. He punished unders and dropped frequently and did it from NBA range. Most importantly though, he made massive improvements as a catch and shoot guy from 3, and though his mechanics are a bit unorthodox or funky and could be more bothered by NBA contests, he showed himself to be a legit threat from out there. Again, I think he'll be best suited as more of an off guard for reasons that we'll get into here in a second, but he should be able to cut and move without the ball well, attack off the catch and get his own when needed off of a shifted defense, and run a second side pick and roll. Now maybe that ends up being a great underestimation for him and he's able to continue improving in the way that he did this year, but even in that type of role, the best guys are capable of a lot, so this is all important stuff to have.
Carter.
Five on the shot clock. Devin Carter. Show up here tonight, and that's what we're seeing. That's how they played. Carter using that screen.
Carter the other way. Pull up jumper for D. There's Floyd. Carter trailing. Finally an open look for him, and that's good.
Carter hoists a deep three.
Dual extra pass. Devin Carter.
Kicked out. Carter.
The air on the hunt.
Nice find. Nice pump. And
Carter launches.
Electric 12,410.
Carter. First half. Carter, quick release, got it.
Pierre. The lob to Carter.
6 minutes going by here, first half. Glad you joined us here. Big East basketball from Providence.
Carter goes with the
Perimeter team. Great cut there.
Oh, and Carter is 1-2 options for DePaul, and Devin Carter, the unquestioned guy.
Known for his mid-range game. Missed that. Carter's finished.
Saved in play. Floyd will push ahead to Carter.
He can't stick it back, and Carter collects.
Carter with speed. That's the
Providence is flying around defensively. I'll get things on spend they're moving the basketball.
and
Carter back the other way, waiting for help.
wow, a deep three. Oh my!
Now Devin Carter is clearly good at a lot of things, but that missing piece for someone that measured in at 6'2" without shoes is being able to run offense and be relied upon to handle the ball for extended periods. And even though he made significant improvements this year and he's not bad by any means, his playmaking, passing, and handle isn't quite at that primary level. He struggles more going left, he's a bit rigid in and out of moves, he goes to backing down and using his body fairly quickly, and though I didn't think the turnovers were a huge issue, he still struggled a bit more in heading full speed downhill and seeing passing windows and help defense. As a passer, he's capable of getting you some basic reactive reads both in space and in the pick and roll. He's best on kickouts. I think he'll be fine here in a complementary role, and he's a team guy and unselfish at his core, but he's not particularly accurate or precise off the live dribble and doesn't have that advanced level feel either. Now again, we're not talking about someone that is just incapable of creating advantages with the ball or is just some black hole on offense, but as a senior age player who it took a minute to get to this level, I'm just not sure that he'll get to the point where he's being relied upon in that way. But if he is to reach his highest possible outcome and exceed some expectations, it'll probably come from his growth in this spot.
Lead is down to 2. Connecticut makes its run. There again.
Connecticut, good one. Carter, nice hands here by Alexander. Nice help.
Opportunities with those offensive rebounds. It's too good. Ticket gains.
Carter right back in the game for the corner and Floyd for 3.
How much trust Shaka Smart has in him. Carter off to Barron. By my man. Carter underhands it to Gaines. Lit it up. Carter, beautiful pass. Just
High school had a monster season in New York State, and there's a monster.
great hands by Oduro. As soon as Soriano brought that ball down. Carter kicks to the corner. Wide open Gaines. Book it. Nice run by Oduro and the five by Carter. All those UConn fans, you can tweet your complaints to Dave Sims. And the layup.
So good at it. Reads it, doesn't get too deep. Nice pass. Yeah, slither. They got it. Oh, step back. Carter. Too good.
Carter changes direction, then step back. Jumper. Just couldn't cash it in, but I like that defensive intensity and hands by Nova. Carter!
He has come in and the practice facility, the new things being built, Wintrust Arena.
I do think it's very difficult to have as significant a leap in confidence, attempts, and efficiency as Carter did and then still hold him to whatever he did as an underclassman shooter, but the unorthodox mechanics up top and his inconsistent footwork do give me pause, at least when projecting him to be a great shooter, because I do think he'll be anywhere from average to good, which will be enough. I also think he could use a legit short to mid-range option away from the bucket. The floater or push shot is probably a little more attainable given his mechanics don't really lend itself to a pull-up midi that well, but when you look at a guy like a Bruce Brown, a Pajimski, a Caruso, Melton, early Derek White, they all have something in there in this area, and I think it'll be key for him to maximize his game in whatever role he has, from playing in the pick and roll to playing in more of a utility guard role off the ball. It'll help to have something away from a contested attempt at the bucket. Now, other than that, it's been pretty difficult to find much else as a true improvement area or stuff he's simply bad at. I think that's part of the reason that he'll end up high on my board and many others out there. His shot selection and decision making could get a little erratic at times, but I think that was more of a product of the role he was playing and not a serious processing issue or anything. But other than him being a little shorter than maybe what you'd like from this archetype, there's not really much else there to pick at.
Velocity's really been good here. Runner in the lane, got
The best of them as well. Handles the ball pretty well in space. Castro on the floor now, give him a little bit of a blow. Carter reload, 7 to shoot from the logo. Again, breaks it down, thinking about it from the logo.
With this big lead.
Devin Carter.
Now, offensively, as we mentioned earlier, I think Carter will likely be more of a tertiary, maybe secondary creator. He'll have some ball handling responsibility and be able to do some stuff against a shifted defense, but be more of an off-ball guy at his core. Defensively, he'll make an impact at the point of attack, matching up with ones and a lot of twos and being able to switch several players. And as difficult as it is to make all defense as a guard, I actually think it's a real possibility for him. That'll carry the bulk of his value, and at his best, I think he can be a high-level starter with the playmaking and some of the shot swinging that. And on the lower end of outcomes for him, I'm almost 100% certain he'll be in a rotation. He'll likely land anywhere from the top 8 into the mid-teens, and it seems his range is continuing to rise at this point, so Miami might be out of there, but I love that fit for him. I also like San Antonio, Utah, maybe Memphis, and Philly if he were to somehow fall that far. Comparison wise, there's a handful of players he reminds me of, but Alex Caruso is the main one. Carter's more gifted offensively than Caruso's ever been, but I think their impacts could be similar even with AC being a little bigger. And then you've got guys like Derek White, Brandon Pajemski, Deuce McBride that he's similar to as well. So somewhere in that vein is where he'll land, with White being the highest end possible. To me, Devin Carter is one of the safest bets to make an impact in this class. He's a great defensive prospect, he plays with a great motor, and has enough in several areas offensively to complement. I don't have a lot of expectations in him continuing to ascend on that end in the way that he did this year, but he's got skills that'll get him on the floor early, and that's an underrated key to maximizing potential. Simply put, he makes things happen, and if you're looking to draft a winner, he's going to be very high on that list.